Hey everybody, Seth with Everyman Prep, and how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? There's a lot of euphoria going right now. If you're, conservative, voted for Trump and all that, it's like why I titled this the thumbnail, the calm before the storm. There's a calm, there's a sense of, stability, peace. All the executive orders that Trump signed, some of the bad deals he's got us out of, the J6 people that he freed. There's great feelings right now. That you see comments on Twitter and other, X, whatever you want to call it these days, Facebook. People are saying, we're back, America's back. The golden age of America, as Trump was calling it. However, I think this is more the calm before the storm. I think there's a storm coming, and we're going to read some of the current news and headlines and see what I'm thinking of. But it's great now. Might be a few weeks of this calm, but, there's a lot of problems out there. There's still war. There's still financial trouble. There's a lot of stuff that's going to impact. This is the honeymoon phase, I believe. So don't want to let our guard down. Like I said, we're going to go through some stuff, but I say again, I see this as the calm before the storm. So let's get into some of this, what I'm talking about here. And this came out from Trump today. He just put this statement out, and let's look at it. Like I said, Russia and Xi, Putin, they both said, oh, we want to work with the United States. We feel we can go forward. That's just things they have to say. They're not going to come out and say, we're still going to do what we want to do. We want to take Taiwan. We want to take Ukraine. We don't care who's president. We're going to do what we want. The United States is failing. They're not saying any of that. This is going to be nice. They're going to give congratulations. They're going to hope for the best. But, there's just some real stuff going on. And we can see from this here that Trump, he has a lot of pride. He's made a lot of his business by being the biggest bully on the block as well, in his real estate business and his dealings there. And he's trying to bully Russia right now. I don't think Putin's going to stand for it. And like I said, this is the honeymoon phase. And you can see as we read here, this first part, he talks about, I don't want to hurt Russia. I love the Russian people, which I'm sure is true and everything. But then he goes on to say, all that being said, I'm going to do Russia, whose economy is failing, which it really isn't, and President Putin a big favor. Settle now and stop this ridiculous war. It's only going to get worse, in caps. Well, worse for who? For Russia, for Ukraine, the United States. If we don't get a deal and soon, I have no other choice to put high-level taxes, tariffs, and sanctions on anything being sold by Russia to the United States and various other participating countries. So we're going to force other countries to do stuff too. Let's get this war, which never should have been started if I was president, over with, which never would have been started if Trump was president, he says. We can do it the easy way or the hard way. You only tell that to someone if you're ready to go the hard way or if you're trying to be the bully. You only tell them that. I don't think it's going to get a good reaction out of Putin. And it says, and the easy way is always the best. Yeah, it's the best for the person making the deal, right? So let's make a deal. No more lives should be lost. All right, true, no more lives should be lost, but when you're making a deal like this to me sounds like Russia needs to basically give up any gains they've had, give up any of the territory they've claimed, give up Crimea. Zelensky's already said, I am not going to give up. I'm not signing a deal that says that we give up any land. But Russia, you think they're going to give up anything? You think Russia's going to bow down and say, oh, you're right, Donald. We need to stop this, and we're going to back off and stop. Because you know what? They've already had enough tariffs. They already got their economy straightened out. They've already separated themselves from the SWIFT system through the BRICS. They've already got their economy in manufacturing back home. So more tariffs not going to hurt them. Taxes aren't going to hurt them. It's more of just a bluff. I don't think Russia's going to bow down to this at all. And if we go on further here, we see some of these things I point out. And you'll see here where it says, Zelensky wants American troops in the front line to stop Russia. And I said, yes, he's crazy. Yeah, Zelensky is asking for U.S. troops to go into Ukraine, because he's thinking, well, Russia won't attack U.S. troops and cause World War III. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Well, let's hope this never happens. But and it comes to this, because then we are in World War III. Another thing about the bullying of Russia, or Trump's attempt to, is they're a nuclear power. You're not going to bully them. They can just drop a tactical strategic nuke whenever they want. So, you're not going to really be bullying them into doing anything. Now, I'm going to go through some other lists. Some other things we'll go to the winter storm here in a minute. Trump, seemingly speaking from his classified briefing, says that the number of Ukrainian soldiers is 600,000 to 700,000, and he also said Russia lost about 800,000. So if this is true, Russia lost 800,000 people, and you're Putin, 800, and you love your country. By all means, he loves his country. And he, loves his people, and he's lost 800,000 of his people to this war, gaining, what he thinks is what he thinks Russia's land is back. What Russia what they see as Russian land. 800,000 died. Do you think you're just gonna walk back to Russia and say, okay, that was all for nothing, we're giving it up, we're gonna sign this peace deal and back off? That ain't happening. He's staying in those 4 territories, and maybe once more. He might want to expand them a little bit more to make a bigger buffer zone. He's not going to want NATO in there. He's not going to want either peacekeeping troops in Ukraine. He's not going to want Ukraine in NATO. None of that stuff. I don't see how a peace deal is going to be had. We'll have to see as it gets a little further. They said they're going to meet, but like I said, the calm before the storm. Storm will happen here when Putin basically tells Trump no. That's what I think will happen. So we'll see. That's what I think is going to happen. You can write in the comments below what you think will happen. While you're down there, hit that like button, share the video. If you haven't subscribed, do so as well. Let's see what else we have here. Let's get into some of the good stuff Trump did. Trump, got the United States out of the World Health Organization. That was awesome. That's great. Pull us out of the Paris Accords. Like I said, he freed all the J6 hostages that were being held there. He got them all freed. There's a couple lingering because it's a judge in Fresno, California is trying to say that one of the charges isn't part of the January 6th thing, so she's trying to keep this guy on gun charges. Hopefully that gets resolved in his favor. And of course, we had here, Biden pardoning all his family members and Adam Schiff and everybody in the J6 committee that put all the hostages away. So we'll see how that goes. What else we got here? Trump announces the one flag policy. That's great. We should have the United States flag flying at government buildings. We don't need to have social warfare stances on other flags. You can see the other 2 here. We don't need those flying. Just fly the American flag, your state flag. If you want to throw up a POW flag, sure, but I totally agree with this. That's great. And, he signed a bunch of other executive orders, that are really beneficial. Like I said, the first couple days have been great. Let's see how it goes from there. What else we have here? The UK warns that a Russian spy ship entered the waters, lording over the undersea cables. This is the Baltic right here. This is the North Sea. And, China cut a Russian ship cut the cables, maybe a Chinese ship cut some cables. Here, they're trying to stop that. Once you cut the enemy's communication off, one of the first things you do is to cut their communication off when you go to war. There's also, I don't think I have a post. I don't think I saved the post of it, but a couple undersea cables to a Taiwanese island they control were cut. They should be repaired in a month or so. Now, that's like 6 weeks from now. They said end of February they're going to be repaired. So more of this cable cutting happens, especially around the United States. Well, can you go 6 weeks, 8 weeks without internet for, trade, finance, work? You can see the disruption can cause and why that would be the first thing to go. And of course, we have the Snowmageddon in Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi. Pictures of the Gulf Coast. You got this. Picture's been showing up a lot as, welcome to the Sunshine State. And you got, 6, 12 inches of snow in Florida. Once in a life, never happened, never. Let's not say never. In recorded recent history, what we can tell in the record books, it hasn't snowed this much in Florida. It snowed before, but not this much. 6 inches, 12 inches. I think 4 inches was the record. There was, here's another pictures. People, they don't know how to drive in this stuff. They're in the South, right? They don't know how to drive in this stuff. But we had some power outages down. Not too bad. Some were thinking this could be a major grid failure over there. It hasn't been that bad, which has been great. It's been very resilient. That's good to hear. But schools are closed. Highways are closed down. All that's, once in a lifetime storm. So, make sure you're always prepared for those because those once in a lifetime storms are happening multiple times a year now, whether it be the hurricanes, the floods, North Carolina, Tennessee from the hurricane, the snow. Let's see what happens this summer. But the once in a lifetime events are happening, every year now. And what else do we have here? Let me scroll through and see what else I have for you guys here. Okay, let's see what else we have here. And I believe we have this here. Let's talk about this real quickly. This is probably the last thing we need to talk about is Trump is launching a $500 billion Stargate AI. It's going to cure cancer in 48 hours. So it's a massive AI initiative. it's with the OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, promising to cure cancer, all this stuff, opening up 20 data centers and more. This AI, once it gets, I wouldn't say sentient, but basically sentient. We basically in Terminator Land. We ready for the takeover of the computers, and they start shutting things down because they think it's the right thing. Is that going to happen? I don't know. I'm not really a fan of this. I don't know what these 20 data centers are going to be used for, especially if they're partnered with the government. I really don't trust it. Elon has already come out and said, well, OpenAI doesn't have the money for that. So I don't know where this 500 billion is coming for. We're already so much in debt. Like I said, that's the other thing that Trump's going to have to deal with here soon. Now all the wars happening everywhere with Taiwan, China, Ukraine, Russia. You talked about Iran. There's already talk of Israel wants to do a preemptive strike on their nuclear sites, and Trump's administration is very anti-Iran, very pro-Israel, very pro-war. So remember, I keep saying this, but calm before the storm. It seems great right now, but don't let your guard down. Whatever you do, don't let your guard down, because I think it's gonna turn here. I don't know if it's gonna be 2 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, but there's gonna be stuff happens. And remember, there is about half this country that is not so happy with Trump and what he's doing. Got these deportations. They're starting to round people up. You got the Coast Guard going into the Gulf of America now. We've got Buffalo up there. We got ice vans, ice trucks seen everywhere, border patrol trucks seen everywhere, helicopters flying. So things are gonna happen. So hopefully you got something out of this. I'd love to hear your comments below. And once again, until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.